Okay, Dolphins travel to Houston, play the Texans. Texans are coming off of a bye last week. Oh, 1 second. Technical difficulties. Texans are 8-5 here. Dolphins are 6-7. Dolphins with a exciting win against the Jets last week out of overtime. They really needed that to stay alive. So they are still somewhat afloat for the wild card race this year. So they basically have to win out. They needed some favors, but they have to win out, and that's what they're going to try and do. And so this Texans team, 8-5, coming off of a bye, in theory they should be ready, and we expect them to be ready, but they've struggled. The CJ Stroud that we've been watching this year is not the same CJ Stroud we watched last year. I think it is safe to say that he is absolutely in a sophomore slump. I mean, this offense, they're still 7th overall. This offense is only 22nd overall in EPA per play generated on the offensive side of the ball. They were a top 10 team in that facet last year. So they've dropped off. And, they're 26th overall on offensive success rate as well. Not good for the Houston offense, but they can still, score points, certainly. Their guys are getting healthy again. They now have Nico Collins and Tank Dell back on the field. Joe Mixon, obviously the reemergence of him has been huge and monumental for this Texans offense, and that really is their engine right now. So Dolphins, Tua is back in stride. Tyreek is seemingly getting his game back a little bit. We saw a lull out of him midseason, especially when Tua was out. But this offense seems to have its groove back. We're hoping that the defense can also stay upright. They're not the best unit, but they can definitely play ball. It's going to be a good one. Right now, our model has the Texans 21.5 to the Dolphins 19. So, with Texans at 3-point spread here, BJ, you like the Texans to win and cover. I also like the Texans to win and cover, but I think that the Dolphins are going to give their absolute best here.
Yeah.
So I think they absolutely can win. There's a couple of things that we think that can go wrong for the Dolphins and for the Texans, but right now let's talk about the Dolphins. What's their path to success here to win this game and stay afloat in the playoff race? What do you think?
Yeah, it's really interesting. The Texans have a really good passing defense on the season. So do the Dolphins, but the Dolphins have such a different way of their pass game. We were talking about it before the show started too. It gets the ball out really quick, and they're able to get it into their playmakers' hands for run after catch opportunities. And you had mentioned also that something that makes the Texans pass defense so good is their pass rush. Well, if Tua gets it out in 1 second, it eliminates that pass rush. And so that is how I believe the Dolphins can end up winning this game. I am on the Texans, and I think that you could paint it whichever way you want. This is an indoor game. This game was really difficult for me to pick, but I think that's the way the Dolphins can win this one. Any comments on that strategy?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that the way that the Dolphins run their offense and operate their offense mitigates a lot of what the Texans defense does, to find success against other offenses. They really rely on their pass rush, which is a phenomenal pass rush. And, given if Will Anderson's back and then Danielle Hunter on the other side of that, they're going to try and get after Tua. But the fact that Tua gets the ball out at an extremely fast rate, they dink and dunk, use the screen game, use the RPO game to kind of mitigate the pass rush there. It could be tough sledding for this, Dolphins defense. Now, in the instance that they don't find success, like the Dolphins offense can't really capitalize in that facet of their game, and the quick screens and the dump offs and the get their playmakers the ball and let them run. If the Texans can, contain that and play and basically have every guy do their job, they're winning this game. And so that's really what it's taking. They can't let guys like Tyreek and Devon Achane and Jalen Waddle get loose. They can't let Jonnu Smith catch all of these stick routes and mesh routes and, let them run for 10 more yards. So if they can do their job, play contain, I think the Texans can win this game. I'm hoping, and the optimism is that coming off of a bye week, their offense is going to be looking better. Guys are going to have rest, guys like Joe Mixon, Nico Collins. And that, I'm hoping that we've seen Nico Collins for the past few weeks, and he's kind of brought life a little bit back into the passing game, and I hope that it takes the next level. I think that's the key here is, use guys like Tank and Nico in the passing game, leverage the passing game, let it open up the run game for Mixon, and get the engine of your offense and Joe Mixon running the ball. And honestly, just let CJ Stroud do less. Take some stuff off of CJ Stroud's plate and let everybody else do the work. Let the offense do the work. We know Bobby Slowick is a great play caller. So I think that if he lets CJ Stroud do less, take more off of his plate, and let the playmakers do the playmaking, I think that's the key to success here for the Texans. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited to see how Joe Mixon is off the bye. I feel like he was kind of getting run down a little bit. So with that extra rest, I'm hoping that he can, remain or come back to form from the earlier in the season. And the box score does not show what Nico Collins has been doing. He had a 70-yard touchdown called back for penalty and like a 33-yard called back for penalty. He caught it over the middle of the field. So dude is insane.
He is phenomenal.
He's so good. So with him coming off the bye, having a little bit of rest, I really think that they can make some really explosive plays here.
I love it. So that'll be fun too, because that's a playoff game for the Dolphins. They have to win out.
Every game's a playoff game for the Dolphins.
So I love that though. I love the pressure of it.